The Canvas widget gives you space on which to draw and organize various shapes, images, and even other widgets. Its power and flexibility make it suitable for all sorts of tasks, from creating a basic drawing space or displaying a diagram to building your own custom widgets with a unique look and feel. In this video and the next one, I'll go through the process of creating a canvas and using some of the common methods for drawing lines and shapes to the canvas, as well as adding images and other widgets. Since the canvas is not one of the themed TK widgets, we'll only need to import the tkinter package. Now I'll create my top-level TK window using the constructor method. And to create a canvas, I'll use the canvas constructor method. I'll pass it that top-level window as the parent, and I'll use the pack method to put my canvas in the window. By default, the canvas is just a blank area of this size. We can specify the size of the canvas by configuring the width and height properties. I'll set the width of my canvas to be 640 and the height to be 480. And both of these values are represented in pixels. There are a variety of shapes that we can draw on the canvas, the simplest being a line. I'm going to create a line and save it to a variable called line. And to do that, I use the canvas.create_line method. Now there's several parameters that go into this. The first one are XY pairs of coordinates for the line. So if I want my line to begin at the point 160, 360, that's being an XY pair, and I want it to continue on and end at the point 480 by 120. Again, that's another XY pair of pixels. And those pixels are referenced from the top left corner of the canvas. I can also set the fill property of my line to make my line blue. And I can configure the width of the line to change how thick it is. So this will create a line that's 5 pixels wide. So you can see this created a line with the start being 160 by 360 pixels from the top left corner, and then 480 by 120 pixels down is where it ended. Whenever we create an item within the canvas, the create method returns an ID that we can use to reference that item later to make changes. If we don't ever intend to modify the canvas item again, then we can just ignore the returned ID. But if we'll need to reference it later, then we'll need to capture the ID in a variable, as I did here with this line method. Now, we can use that stored ID with the canvas's item configure method to modify properties about the line. For example, if I wanted to change the color of the line, I could do so with the item configure method, passing in the line object itself, and then specifying the property I want to change. In this case, the fill property, and I'll set that line to be green. We can also get the coordinates that are associated with the line by using the canvas's coords method. We pass in that line object, and it will return a list of the coordinates associated with that line. If we pass coordinates to that coords method, we can also use it to change the coordinates of the line. So if I call canvas.coords, specify the line object I want to change, I can then pass in a new set of coordinates for the line. So I'll start this line at 0, 0. I'll add it coordinate of 32, 240. And then you can add multiple sets of coordinates. You can actually do more than just 2 pairs. So I'm going to have this line continue on to the point 640 by 0. So I've created 3 pairs of coordinates, 0, 0, 320 by 240, and 640 by 0 for this line. And when I draw it, you'll see it's a line going from the top left corner to the center of the canvas up to the top right. Another configuration option that's available for lines is the ability to smooth them out. I'll call the canvas.itemConfigure method, specify the line I want to smooth, and then configure that smooth property to be true. Doing this will cause the canvas to draw multiple line segments in order to create a smooth appearance of the line. We can control how many line segments it uses to try and represent this line by configuring the spline steps property. So again, I'll use my item configure method on the line object, and I'll set the spline steps property to being 5. This will draw that line using 5 steps to try and smooth it out. You can see that with 5 spline steps, it still looks pretty rough. So let's copy that line, and let's try upping our spline steps to something larger, like 100. Now we're back to a fairly smooth looking line. When we're done using an item on the canvas, we can delete it by using the canvas's delete method and passing in that object we want to delete. In addition to passing in objects, we can also use the all keyword to completely clear the canvas with the delete method. That covers some of the basic properties and methods for creating and configuring a line item on the canvas. In the next video, we'll take a look at some of the other shapes we can draw on the canvas, as well as how to add images and other widgets.